Hello everybody, I am back with part 3 of the journaling mini album tutorial. And my last video we worked on the left side of the album, and in this video we will work on the right side. On this side I want to make a big envelope for larger photos. The left side will only work for smaller photos, and I wanted to add some space for a larger format as well. So my envelope will be 11.3 by 19.8 centimeters. Again, I will have all dimensions listed in the description below. I cut out a template sheet already and wrote down dimensions. So to make an envelope this big of a size, you will need a square piece of scrapbook paper that is 27.5 by 27.5 centimeters. Basically, to calculate that, I added 7.7 centimeters to the largest side, that is about 3 inches, and that formula should work for any size of envelope. Now I will show you how to figure out where scoring lines will go. I will pre-cut my scrapbook paper to needed size, and you will need to draw a diagonal line like you see on my paper. Make sure to draw that in on the inside side of the envelope. Now I just folded my template in half, and I'm gonna place it on top of the line, making sure my pencil line and fold line lay on top of each other. And I used a pencil to draw a line along the longer sides of template. This is where the first 2 horizontal lines will go. Now to figure out the vertical scoring lines, I pretty much eyeballed it, making sure my template lays exactly in the middle of the scrapbook paper, but you can use the same method. Just draw another diagonal line and fold the template in half along the smaller side, and repeat the step that I just showed you. Now we are gonna score folding lines along these pencil marks. I'm going to make a total of 8, not 4 scoring lines, and that will I'm doing this because I want to add dimension to the envelope. If I won't add those additional 4 lines, the envelope will be flat, and you won't be able to fit in as much photos in there. So it looks like the vertical lines, and let me take my ruler out to help me out here. So the vertical lines will be scored at 3 6/8 of an inch, and I'm gonna add a second scoring line right to the left of my first one at about 3 5/8 of an inch. And once that's done, I'm going to repeat the same steps on the opposite side. If you measured everything correctly, meaning if you placed your envelope right in the middle of the scrapbook paper and put your pencil marks, the scoring lines, you should end up with the same scoring lines as on the other side, and that is how it worked out for me. So again, I'm doing one at 3 6/8 of an inch, and the second one at 3 5/8 of an inch. Now for my horizontal lines, I know it's kind of hard to see, but it looks like I'm making one at 5 1/8 of an inch and the second one at 5 inches exactly. To be sure, I would suggest going by your pencil marks instead of what I gave you, because I'm not sure if the numbers are correct. I am flattening out the surface of the envelope, making sure everything looks even, and after that I'm going to cut out these triangle pieces. We won't need those to assemble the envelope. I am making, you're gonna need to make the cuts along the inner scoring lines. I know on here it looks like I'm cutting it along the outside scoring line, but when I fold the envelope, these little parts will be sticking out, so just go ahead and cut everything at the inner lines. So there we have our envelope. I kind of wanted to close up like so, and on the back side of the envelope planning to make a frame. So before I glue the envelope together, I'm going to insert 2 magnets inside. This will allow it to hold on to the album once it is closed, and I'm going to add 2 more magnets to the album as well, for the envelope to hold on to, but I'll do that a little bit later. Okay, I am almost ready to attach my envelope to the album. Over here I cut out a piece of scrapbook paper. It is 11.3 by 19.8 centimeters, same size as my envelope. This piece will go right on top of the album and the envelope will attach to it. I'm just tucking this little corner inside so it is out of the way. You can cut it out as well. I am also going to cut off this top part of the triangle as well, and just leave about 1.5 centimeters or about 1/2 inch. This remaining part will be glued to my scrapbook paper piece. I added border stitching and wrinkled up the edges of my paper piece. I also added magnets on the back of the scrapbook paper, so everything is holding up very nicely right now. I'm going to glue this element onto the album, and we will work on decorating the front of the envelope next. We are moving on to decorate this front left side of the envelope, and I already said that I want to make a frame here, and for my frame I cut out this element right here. I used my brother plotter to design and cut it out. I will also have the cut file available to download if you have a cutting machine. If you don't, you can print out the PDF version and use it as a template for cutting with scissors or an X-Acto knife, or you can make your own frame. I will have the dimensions for the frame listed below as well. Or maybe you don't want to have a frame here and choose to decorate it differently. That is absolutely fine. Just make sure your decor doesn't conflict with the right side of the album. If you are going to use my cut file, it already has scoring lines and you just need to make the fold. And I do want to mention that the remaining outside pieces after the fold are a little wider than needed. I originally planned to wrap this paper around a chipboard piece, so I added extra width, but then I changed my mind because I was afraid that if I make this side too thick, it might conflict with the right side of the album. So instead, I'm just going to add extra scoring lines later, just like I did with the envelope. Now I'm going to need a piece of vellum sheet, and I will list the dimensions for that vellum down as well. And this one came from the Twilight collection. It has gold spiders and spider webs. I am going to glue this onto the back of my frame template here, and I also want to add some border stitch into it as well. Now I'm just gonna need a tiny strip of chipboard piece, and I will glue it here in the middle. I am doing so to separate the tags that are going to be inserted in these frames. Otherwise, the tags will go on top of each other, and when the album is moved, now I'm going to add 3 scoring lines, one on each side of the and the third one at the bottom. So I'm not adding one on the top because that's where the tags will be inserted. I'm just about finished up with decorating the left side. Again, I will be adding some acrylic splashes and maybe some toppings at the very end. Next video will be the last video of my tutorial, and we will work on the cover. Thank you for staying with me until the end, and I see you again next time. Goodbye.